Guess what? We have merch now, BBs. So if you're interested, go ahead and check out the link in the description. Just basically made stuff that I myself want to wear. So if you like it, let's all sport our Ragebone pride together. Well, hello, and thank you so much for joining me. Today we're watching Chantal's newest vlog where she is apparently going to be cooking some traditional Syrian recipes. If you don't like the look of raw meat, I suggest not looking at the screen currently, but if you are enjoying my content, please consider subscribing. It helps out the channel a lot. And we'll see what we're in for today. Shall we?
From Syria. So I have a very nice friend here. We will call her for the purposes of these videos Noor. So Noor and I are going to be preparing a dish called ragaga.
Are you guys or is she doing all the work?
It's spelt differently. I'll put the spelling here, but it's basically just this is a dish that is layers of thin, crispy bread and layered with chicken and onions and spices. So you'll see how it's made in this video.
Looks like the chicken is quartered. So you've got white and dark
And
meat.
Noor was nice enough to offer up her kitchen and to teach me how to make different Arabic dishes. So this one I'm mostly just observing, but going forward, I'm going to make more.
And I see a liver and possibly a neck, which... Not trying to yuck someone else's yum, but...
dishes myself with her help. So yes, that is what's going to happen. So I hope you enjoy this recipe. It was very delicious. All right, now we are adding a yellow onion to the pot with the chicken to simmer with the chicken, and that will just add a lot more flavor as well. Here we are adding some bay leaves, cardamom, and cinnamon to the pot with the chicken as well. And then we're going to put the lid on and we're going to let that simmer for about 45 minutes to an hour.
Now I'm going to say this. Not trying to give Foodie too much credit, but the fact that she has this person in her life that is showing her things, there seems to be maybe a friendship here, possibly. Okay. All right.
Here was my least favorite part about this cooking.
Oh, I know that's Foodie. That's gotta be. Look at this thumb. Alright. Chubbiest hand I've ever seen. The chubbiness, like, just... This reminds me of something else, but okay.
Process because the onions were very strong and they made my eyes water. The lady I was with here had no problem with the onions, but my eyes were very, very sensitive to it. But we are cutting up a whole bunch of onions because onions, along with the chicken, are the main
Chantal probably did one onion while this woman did, 10.
ingredients for the ragaga. So you will see how the onions just add so much flavor to this dish. And we have a lot of them to cut up here. So here are the onions just being cut up, this whole bowl of onions here, and then they are going to be cooked down in some olive oil. All right, so now that the chicken has been simmering for a little while, she is now adding some salt and she's going to add some spices as well. So we have some salt here, a good generous amount of salt. And then
That salt looked kind of unique. It looked really, really, like, finely ground. It's
we
interesting.
have some curry powder. I love curry. It just smells so good when it's cooking. We have some ground cardamom. Some ground ginger. I think that was the cardamom, actually. The one before that was the ginger. I'm not sure they look the same, so... And here are some capsa spices. I'll put on the screen here what exactly capsa spices are. We're going to give that a little mix. And I think this is a bit more curry. And then just give that a little stir around. Add the lid back on. And now we have some flour.
So far we've seen Chantal cut an onion. So I think what she meant to say was we're going to watch this nice lady cook while she stands there probably looking like a tub.
2 bags of flour, because it is now time to make the dough for the ragaga. It's kind of like almost like a layered pie, like a pie in a lasagna. So there's 2 bags of white flour here that are needed for this particular recipe. And we're going to add 3 spoons of salt. It's a very simple dough, just flour, water, and salt. And there's in the red bowl, there's some water there. So I'm going to mix the flour with the salt. And then what's going to
The audio here is terrible.
happen is she's going to gradually add cupfuls of water to the dough and mix it by hand. It's just so much easier. You got to get some hand action in there to properly knead the dough anyways. So little by little, just incorporating the water there until you get the consistency that you need. And I guess it's just easier to really work the dough if you're on the ground doing it. And of course, I'm not on the ground, down on the ground. It's more difficult for me to kneel down like that. But she's getting in there and working the dough. And then after it's to the consistency she likes, we're going to let the dough sit for a little while. All right, here it is. Pretty much done. Pretty close to anyway. And we're trying the broth. And man, the chicken, the broth, so flavorful. Like, I couldn't believe it. The leftover stock is going to be such a good soup base.
Who could have guessed there was flavor in there with all those spices that they added? So observant. Good job, Foodie.
Yum. So this recipe has a ton of oil. And when I say a ton of oil, almost this whole bottle gets used. Now, it looks like a lot of oil. It is, but you're going to see how it gets used later. So she's adding a ton of oil. You almost kind of fry the onions in the oil. Now, this is really good quality olive oil. I mean, we have here in Syria tons of olive trees everywhere. It's just a huge staple. And the end result was actually not greasy at all. It's
Said before, too, just with how basic everything is, their ingredients, I'm sure, are much more pure. They don't have all the additives and preservatives that we get to enjoy here in the United States of A. So
just olive oil is very, very healthy. Okay, so don't worry about all the oil. You'll see later. Trust the process. So the chicken's ready. We're going to remove it because it needs to be shredded for the recipe. So here we are.
Also, a thought just came to my mind while, they're sitting here. Well, this woman is cooking, standing, doing all this stuff. It's got to be hot in that kitchen. It's already hot without all these heat elements on. So I'm going to guess Chantal was sweating bullets while this was all going on. Probably like, why don't you just go ahead and stand there and hold the camera, because we don't want you sweating into the food. Thanks.
Just removing all of the chicken from the pot.
Not a fan of boiled chicken, but, if you're shredding it, it doesn't really matter, I guess.
And here I am, yay, I'm helping. I'm just doing, you know,
I finally get to do something, Mommy. Thank you.
little things here and there to help. I mostly just wanted to observe this time and help where I could, but I'm stirring things around because, you know, just...
Now again, give a compliment where there's a compliment due. I actually like the way that this hijab looks. It actually looks kind of nice. It kind of looks feminine. Doesn't just look like a scuba mask that she has on her head.
help where I could, but I'm stirring things around because, you know, just trying to help as much as I can. And hopefully I can learn something from this and maybe make it on my own in the future. So here we are just shredding up the chicken. After it cooled off a bit, of course, or it would be scorching, but we're going to shred up all of the chicken pieces.
Now, do you think Sal's filming here, or were they involving another person? Another wife, possibly?
Now we are adding the shredded chicken to the olive oil and the onions. So this is going to be our filling with all those spices incorporated that you saw before. So this is going to be the filling for the regaga, and the smell is just, I can't even put into words. Oh, so we add more spices. So we add some more curry. Looks like more curry here. Some salt. I think this is capsa spice or cinnamon. Sorry, cinnamon. We add cinnamon, ginger.
You know, I obviously have zero knowledge of Syrian cooking, but if you're adding all these spices now, what was the point of adding them all before? I mean, did it really make that much of a difference? I don't know. Just speaking from my own tiny girl life of seasoning food. Just curious.
Ground cardamom and some more capsa spice are the main spices here. And did I say ground ginger? And of course we have some black pepper here as well. Some black pepper. We're going to mix that in. And yes, the smell is just amazing, as you can imagine. And I'm going to give that some nice stirring as well. Incorporate all the flavors, mix the onions very well with the chicken. The chicken is nice and tender and shredded. The onions are just melting from being cooked in the olive oil. It's just going to give it a really, really, really nice flavor. And of course I get to try some of the chicken. I was asked to. And yeah, it's so good, and I was very hungry at this point. Everyone was...
Yeah, that does look pretty good. Not gonna lie, I don't really like slimy onions. Maybe they'll crisp up as they continue to cook, but yeah, I'm not hating on it.
Hungry and smelling this food. So it was really cool to see how...
Also, it wasn't cooked actually by Foodie, so yeah, I'm sure that's one of the reasons why it actually looks good.
how everything was made here. All right, now that the dough has been sitting, it looks like a pan here greased with olive oil. And she's forming a bunch of balls of dough for the recipe here. So these little balls of dough are being rolled out to form the layers of the ragaga. So we have layers of dough and olive oil and then filling that are going to make up this recipe. So here you can see there's a layer of dough, then there's a layer of filling. Just like a lasagna, like I said. Syrian lasagna, I guess, but it's yeah, I've never tried.
I was gonna say it actually reminds me more of like a layered quesadilla, but okay, yeah, lasagna. There's not any noodles.
Okay. All
Tried this, but Salah said it's amazing. So, and as you can see, like I said, there's a ton of olive oil used in this recipe, but again, it's really high quality olive oil. And in the finished product, I was surprised that there was hardly, it was not greasy at all. It was like it just got absorbed or something. So, but they always use a lot of olive oil, and yes, as you can see here, but it's so good. This olive oil is so good. I've never tasted olive oil this delicious before. So, but yeah, this is basically the process of just rolling up the dough, layering it with the filling here. So
You know, sometimes the simplest things taste the best. It's basically chicken, bread, and onions, and then the spices and oil, so. Be interested to know how old this woman is. Obviously, I have no earthly idea, but just from the look of her hands, she seems to be, I'd say younger than Foodie, obviously. So just the dynamic between the two of them. You've got probably this 20-something wife in Syria that's now, you know, befriending Chantal.
now we're poking holes to go into the oven for baking. And the dough balls and the filling made 2 different pies. All right, the ragaga's finished. So here we have one of the pies anyways, all finished. The other one is getting there, so we're going to put it back in for a couple minutes or so. And here we are cutting the first pie. It's almost like actually like a pot pie, like a Syrian pot pie kind of, but here it is with the layers and the huge chunks of chicken, and it's
No, it literally looks like a layered quesadilla, like I already said. Pot pies are like wet, but yeah, it looks pretty good. I would eat that.
served with some laban or some yogurt, and I'm having some water, sauteed. So the next day for dinner, we had a traditional Syrian dish called mlehie, and this is made with jamid here. That's what you're seeing right here is jamid, and this was made homemade by the person cooking this meal, and it's dried yogurts. I tried a piece of it, and it tastes very similar to Parmesan cheese. It's really delicious, and then it gets liquefied into like a yogurt sauce. And they use this same type of jameen and as well as mansef. Maybe you heard of mansef. But mlehie is a dish made with bulgur, jameen, and chicken or lamb. And we're having chicken today. So this is, yeah, I wanted to explain. It's like a dried yogurt. And then
Again, her audio is so terrible. She's got this weird, like... I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a weird mechanical interference or something. But this is the content that we want, okay? I get this is kind of boring, it's kind of bland, but to me, she's actually showing the culture. She's actually showing us something other than her same old, you know? So, not trying to be like, oh, Foodie, you're so great, but I enjoy this. I like seeing this. I like seeing her actually interacting with the people there. And yeah, this is interesting to me.
it gets made into a sauce in a lot of different Arab recipes. Now, I forgot to film some of this, so somebody filmed for me, and they filmed in the other way, so sorry about that, but it's okay. This is them stirring the jameen sauce. They add it's stirred in with the chicken broth, the broth from the chicken. The chicken had been simmering like you saw in the previous video.
So to me, it's a way to add creaminess, maybe.
For the ragaga, so something similar. So this is making the sauce, the yogurt sauce, basically the jameen, yogurt, and chicken broth and spices. So once the bulgur is cooked, it gets kind of mashed like this, kind of like you would do with mashed potatoes. They have a special big spoon to mash the bulgur with, and they add some ghee. Actually, the ghee is a bit later, but
just the fact that these people are basically filming content for her. God love
right now they're just mashing the bulgur, and they add some yogurt to the bulgur as they plate it, and as they're mashing it, they add a bit of the yogurt sauce, they add some ghee, and now as they plate it, they serve on these big serving plates we all eat together.
This is gonna sound literally like the most random possible thing, but this will just give you a small insight to my mind and what I'm probably thinking about as I'm sitting there spacing out. Just the fact that at some point there was a person that figured out how to do this. You know what I mean? Just, I could never. My brain just doesn't work that way. I was spacing out today at work because we had to use an interpreter. And I was just sitting there thinking, like, how crazy is it that you've got all these different people throughout, you know, the history of time that have created languages, and just how, based on the region, people spoke differently. Just the fact that people figured out a way to communicate with each other blows my mind. Like, how? Just one day they're just making noises, and then it became words, and then it became languages, and now here we are talking on the internet to strangers everywhere. You know, it's just wild. It's crazy to me. Aliens, what is it? You know?
And sit around on the floor and eat like that, and they just drizzle it with some yogurt as well. And here is the process of them adding the yogurt and broth to the bulgur wheat as they're mashing it. And here's the clip of them adding the ghee. They add some ghee as well while they're mashing. Ghee is clarified butter. So this is animal ghee, and they're just mashing that all together. Ghee also gets drizzled on top of the final result as well. And here's the final result of the mlehie. And as you can see, the leftover yogurt broth gets served on the side. So you can add it as you're eating as well, or you can take some sips from it. Salah and I shared one. And this is the chunks of chicken with the bulgur wheat and the sauce. And it's a very traditional Syrian.
You know she was wearing that on the front of her shirt by the time she was done. And Salah was probably just rolling his eyes as he had to share a spoon with her.
Dish. And it was so delicious. It almost tasted like a risotto, if I could describe the texture and the flavor. It was really, really, really delicious. I enjoyed it very much, and I was very grateful that they made this dish for me. Sauté.
All right, well, like I said, I'll give her some credit. She's doing a little bit more of what people are asking as far as show us the actual life in Syria, not just the burned out wreckage of humanity and you stuffing your face. So, all right. I liked that. I enjoyed that. I don't know why she's trying to take credit saying she did anything, but she was there. She cut an onion. All right. So, hope everybody has an awesome weekend. Today's Friday, so I think I'll be posting this Saturday. Yeah, let's all go out and enjoy our life and live it up because these heifers, again, are in a hell of their own making. So I thank you all so much for your support of my teeny tiny channel. Hi, Dad. Love you. And I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye.